Fast-moving developments in the impeachment fight that is rocking Washington. The Inspector General for the Intelligence Committee, who initially received the whistleblower complaint that set off the impeachment inquiry, now testifying behind closed doors to the House Intel Committee. Hans von Spakovsky is a former DOJ official, now senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Hans, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So first up, the IG. We'll likely hear more later today. But what do you expect to be revealed in that closed-door hearing?
Well, the IG is going to have to explain why it was the policy and on the complaint form of his office that you could only file a complaint if you had first-hand knowledge of wrongdoing inside the intelligence community. Instead, and that was the policy at the time of the phone call between the president and the president of Ukraine. Then suddenly it changed, and he accepted a complaint based on secondhand knowledge and news reports. I think that is frankly bizarre, and it brings up the question of whether this complaint was actually credible and something that the IG should have even have sent to the Director of National Intelligence.
Made it very clear that the whistleblower to him was credible and that the information that he brought forward was being treated as credible.
Yeah, but how can it be credible when their prior policy before this has always been to require first-hand information? Look, there's second-hand information is hearsay. And there's a good reason that hearsay is not accepted in any state or federal court anywhere in the country because it's unreliable.
We had talked about that a week ago. Then there was other reporting suggesting that was not the case. Are you saying for a fact that that's the way the law was written?
What I'm saying is that's the policy of the Inspector General and has been the policy of the Inspector General. And that's the right policy because, like I said, hearsay is unreliable, and that should not be used when investigating what should be really serious complaints.
Okay, just to be clear on this, it's not a law, it's the policy. You're saying that's a fact, that is how the policy is written.
That was the policy of the IG's office. He changed it after he received this complaint from this whistleblower.
Okay, now a couple things here. The interview that Lee Zeldin talked about yesterday, he said it blew a hole in the whole Schiff story that had been out there publicly. How much did they learn from the IG today about what Adam Schiff knew and when he had the information?
Well, I don't know the answer to that because we don't know what kind of discussions Adam Schiff may have had with the Inspector General and or the whistleblower. I mean, those facts just aren't out there. I assume that's what they're going to be questioning him in depth about. They certainly should be questioning him about it.
So, go ahead, Sam. No, it's okay. Our heads are turning here at the same time, I think. We just had this long-standing debate, and all three of our panelists believe that Democrats have the vote, they have the 218 to go forward. You live in Washington. Is that a fact?
I don't know if they have the vote, but let me put it this way. Look, Nancy Pelosi is correct that the Constitution doesn't require a vote, but I think justice demands it, and here's why. Other than declaring war, the most serious undertaking that Congress can engage in is impeachment, because what they're doing is removing a duly elected president and overturning the choice of the American electorate. That should not even begin until and unless they have a formal vote approved by the entire House and a resolution that lays out not only the evidence justifying the start of the investigation, but what the scope will be, what the rules under which it's going to operate, and what the timing is going to be. Without that, it raises questions about, again, the credibility of what's happening in the House.
Nancy Pelosi responded to that, Hans, in this letter that she wrote to Leader McCarthy yesterday. She said the existing rules of the House provide House committees with full authority to conduct investigations for all matters under their jurisdiction, including impeachment investigations. There is no requirement under the Constitution, she writes, under House rules or House precedent, that the whole House vote before proceeding with an impeachment inquiry.
Well, no, she's right. But look, This kind of a vote was held when they started the investigation for Richard Nixon. It was held when they started the investigation of Bill Clinton. And as I said, this is such a serious undertaking with such substantial consequences that I think it's just simply unfair and wrong for her not to get the approval of the entire House and, as I said, set out the rules and conditions under which the investigation is going to be conducted.
So in early 1998, there were 37 Democrats who voted with Republicans in the House to proceed on the Bill Clinton matter, right? If you have 0 Republicans in 2019, what's the effect of that on the American people?
Well, I think the American people may question this. Remember, with the Clinton investigation and the Clinton impeachment, it was very clear that even though it was obvious the president had actually violated the law, he had perjured himself in a deposition, the American people did not believe that his misconduct was serious enough to justify removing him from office. And the Republicans paid the price for that at the ballot box. In this situation, I think, is very similar. If the American people do not believe that the president engaged in misconduct or that it was serious enough to justify removing him from office, then the people who push forward with it may also, just like with the Clinton impeachment, pay the price at the ballot box.
Oh, sir, thank you for your time. Hans von Spakovsky from Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Hans.
Nice to see you again. Thank you.